Toast makers, shot takers, and y'all know my favorite, puff chasers. This is your Grace, Sir Bradley Ashton, back with another installment of I Got Five on It, where I just merely share my 5 cents on everything that affects the masculine millennial. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Help a brother out. Help me make it to 100 subscribers. So only you can help me do that by liking, sharing, subscribing to anyone who has an XY chromosome, and to the double X's. Y'all are welcome as well. But on with tonight's show. So, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 2 to 3, maybe even 4 months, because now it's October and we've been hearing little rumblings about this particular individual and his soon to be ex mate for some time now. But future Hall of Famer Tom Brady and his wife Giselle Bundchen recently announced on this past Friday, I believe, that they were officially filing for divorce after 13 years of marriage, a marriage that produced 2 children, a boy and a girl, and also a child from a previous relationship from Tom Brady's side of things. And just to kind of add context to where we, reached this point. So it had been rumors for a while that Tom Brady would be retiring. Now, individuals thought that when he tweeted on February the 1st of this year that he was officially hanging it up after I think like 21 seasons in the league, a lot of individuals thought that was the last that we had saw of Tom Brady. But his retirement only lasted about 40 days, I want to say. And he made a tweet on March the 30th, basically saying to the extent of, my time will come to retire. I still have a lot more to give, and that time hasn't come yet for me to just give it up. And officially stated that he was going to be coming back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this season, which has not been one of his best seasons, where as of this recording, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are currently 3-5 in the NFC South. So they may be hovering around third or fourth and last place in the NFC South. Unless they ring out a 7 out of 9 wins or an 8 out of 9 wins, or they win the next 9 straight games, the postseason may not see Tom Brady playing, and that'd be pretty sad to see. Tom Brady, who had a lot of promise going into this season of potentially leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back to the Super Bowl as a potential, favorite. And just based on how the team has been playing overall, it doesn't look like that may happen for him. And a lot of people have been stating that a large reason why this may be is because of the impending divorce between him and Super Bowl, and I about to say Super Bowl, and Victoria's Secret supermodel Giselle Bundchen. And he actually admitted in a press conference that this has been affecting his play, but he has promised that he will focus on his kids and he will focus on winning going forward. And I think when we have this discussion about a man like Tom Brady, a man who has been seen as arguably the face of the NFL for the past 2 decades, and also a man who has broken so many NFL records, um, just a champion from those who know him close on and off the field, a man who literally giving his all every time he subs on the football field, an individual that many would consider like the ultimate competitor. When you see a man like himself, a man who has accomplished so much and has fought the odds, this man was a 6th round draft pick at 199 I think 6 quarterbacks went before him, and I don't think any of those quarterbacks had even close to the career that this man has had. And to see a man like that defy the odds and not be able to defy the marital odds is a bit shocking, but not really surprising if you really know the trend in this country when it comes to marriage and when it comes to divorce and just the rate in which individuals are even getting married now and the likelihood of a couple going through divorce. And you really have to ask yourself a question. If you are a man who has a purpose, and whatever that purpose is, are you able to truly fulfill that purpose and not have to sacrifice things that, for sake of conversation, mere mortals like some of us will have to take into consideration when you're so great at it? I don't think there's an argument or there's a question that Tom Brady was born to play the game of American football. And that's why I titled this video, "It's hard for a good man to be king," because the motivation of the title came from a scene from the Black Panther where King Baba told King T'Challa in the ancestral plains about how to be king, or more so, how it's hard to try to balance being a good man and be king. So, if I can play that for you guys right quick, just want to show y'all that. So let's go and bring this here back here.
I am not ready to be without you. A man who has not prepared his children for his own death has failed as a father. Have I ever failed you? Never. Tell me how to best protect Wakanda. I want to be a great king, Baba. Just like you. You're going to struggle. So you need to surround yourself with people you trust. You're a good man with a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be king.
Mm. It is hard for a good man to be king. It is hard for a good man to be king. That's something to be said. You can try your best to balance being a good man, but it's even harder when you are trying to achieve greatness and you have other things that is a part of your life, and you can't be at all places at once, and really having to make that decision on what is more important to you, having a balanced life or achieving the absolute best that you can in your endeavors in which the most high bestowed upon you, and let the chips fall as they may as to where things fall into their proper perspective. Some of that being your wife and kids and things of that nature. And when it comes to that of Miss Boonchen, I don't know if she really understood what she was signing up for when she decided to be Mrs. Thomas Brady. But I would think that any woman who has been around Tom Brady in an intimate setting would know that this man is passionate about the game of American football. And it will be very hard pressed to find someone who loved the game more than he did or does, because he's still currently playing. And when you have somebody that is so passionate about something that he has been playing since the time he was a small child, I would find it very hard for an individual to try to come in between that, right? And people say that Giselle had her reasons for wanting time to retire, more of her being concerned about him potentially hurting himself as he advanced through time, because he's in his, mid 40s now. He's 45 years old playing football. Many people don't even make it past the age of 35, let alone make it to 20 some odd seasons and still be playing at a top level like he is. And I want this to kind of be a heed to a lot of men who out there that has a passion, right? If you don't have a woman who really understands your journey, who really understands your passion and what brings you life, it's going to be hard for that woman to want to be in a situation with you and really see things through with you. I think that's what made Kobe Bryant's marriage to Vanessa work the way it did, because I think Vanessa really understood that at the end of the day, Kobe may have loved her immensely. And I don't think she ever questioned it, even long after his untimely passing. However, I do believe that Vanessa would even admit to herself that she took a second place to the game of basketball. And I don't think she mind that, because had it not been for basketball, she would have never met Kobe. And if we're to use that same analogy when it comes to the Brady's, Giselle wouldn't know who the hell Thomas Brady was if it wasn't for the game of American football, if he wasn't the the figurehead of a whole sports league like the NFL, which is arguably still the number one sports league in North America. So, with that said, we have to understand that when you have a great passion and when you're trying to be great in that passion, you're going to have to sacrifice some things. And I know some people will say, well, you would just sacrifice, time with your family, time with your wife, time with your friends. And unless you have been in a position like that as an individual, it'll be hard for you to understand why Tom Brady has made some decisions that he's made, right? And before I let y'all go, I want to play this video of Shannon Sharp talking about the price of greatness and what all that entails. It's buffering, so just be patient with me.
If you want to be great, skip people like, look, you need a balance in your life. Not if you want to be great. There is no balance to greatness. Because I can promise you, anybody that's ever ascended up here, forget sports. I'm talking about life in general. There is no balance. If you want to be great, skip people like, look, you need a balance in your life. Not if you want to be great. There is no balance to greatness.
That man said, if you want to be great in your life, there is no balance. You almost had to have a sick obsession when it comes to your craft. I think that's why you had individuals like a Michael Jackson, like a Prince, like a Tupac, like a Dr. Dre, like a Kanye West. And you could just insert any other individual who has been deemed the top in their, respective fields. And sometimes it does mean sacrificing time away from those who matter most to you, you know. And I think as an individual, you have to ask yourself the question, what price are you willing to pay for that greatness? And I think Tom Brady has answered that mantle, the best way he can. And even with all this going on with the divorce and just the overall play of his team, I think if someone was to ask him, Tom, if you had to do it all over, would you do it the exact same way? And I think just from what individuals have said about him and said about his drive as a competitor, I think that he would do it all over again. I think he would honestly do it all over again, and he would choose his purpose over everything else. And I think as men, we really have to get to a place where we have something that we would absolutely sacrifice anything and everything for. Because for it not being your purpose, you probably wouldn't get the other things you would be afforded. If it wasn't for football, he wouldn't even mention it on Giselle. If it wasn't for football, he wouldn't have the level of respect that he has, not only in America, but across the world. People know his name because of football, American football. I got to make a distinction between football and football. So, gentlemen, be willing to make that sacrifice. Be willing to chase your purpose, even if it means sacrificing a lot. And I know for normies, it's not going to register well with them, but I just think for those individuals, they haven't really found something that they'll be willing to put it all on line for, like Tom Brady has. So, as always, that's just my 5 cents. But you let me know what you think. Is he wrong for chasing his purpose? Or she had put, allegedly more time into his marriage? Y'all let me know down in the comment section what you think, and let's continue having a conversation. But until next time, eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through.